We spend so much of our lives creating this huge digital world. It's full of our photos, our conversations, all this information. But have you ever stopped to think, what happens to all of it when we're gone? Well, today on The Explainer, we're going to create a plan for your digital afterlife.
Okay, let's just dive right into this. When we pass away, our digital lives, I'm talking everything from those precious family photos in the cloud to our online bank accounts, they don't just vanish. Nope. Instead, they get locked away behind passwords and security questions that nobody else knows. And that creates an unbelievably difficult and emotional mess for our families. In fact, there's a name for this whole frustrating process: digital probate. It's basically a modern-day nightmare of trying to prove you have the right to get into a loved one's accounts. And as you can imagine, with so much of our lives online now, it's becoming a huge problem for families everywhere.
And the scale of this problem? It's massive. Just take a second and think about your own online life. Research shows that the average person has around 100 different online accounts. That's 100 digital doors that could be locked forever if you don't leave behind the right key.
So that's the crucial point, right? How do you give your loved ones those keys in a way that's totally secure? Well, we're going to start by tackling the two biggest players that are at the core of most of our digital lives: Apple and Google. Now, what's really interesting is that both companies offer these fantastic free tools to solve this exact problem, but they do it in slightly different ways. You can think of Apple's tool as reactive. Your loved one has to request access after you're gone. Google's, on the other hand, is proactive. It automatically shares your data if your account just goes dormant.
For all you iPhone and iPad users out there, setting this up is incredibly simple. It's built right into your settings. You just go to Sign In Security, tap on Legacy Contact, and then you pick someone from your contacts. Apple then creates this special access key for you to share with that person. Easy.
So here are the key things to remember. Your contact is going to need two things to get access: a copy of your death certificate and that unique access key you gave them. Once Apple approves it, they get 3 years to download your data. Photos, messages, files. But it's really important to know they won't be able to see things like movies you bought or your saved password.
All right, now for the millions of us using Gmail and Android, Google has this really powerful tool called the Inactive Account Manager. You just go into your Google account settings and tell it how long to wait, maybe 6 months of inactivity, before it jumps into action. It's a real set it and forget it system.
And the level of control you get here is just fantastic. You can pick up to 10 trusted contacts, and get this, you can decide exactly what data each person gets. So maybe your brother gets access to your Google Photos, but only your spouse gets your emails. You can even tell it to just delete your entire account after everything's been shared. Okay, now that we've covered those core accounts, let's build on that. Beyond Apple and Google, we really need a plan for the rest of your digital identity. I'm talking about your password manager and your social media presence.
And this is a total game changer. Most of the top password managers now have a built-in emergency access feature. This is so much more secure than, leaving a list of passwords on a piece of paper somewhere. You can just pick a trusted person who, after a waiting period that you set, can get access to your logins to help settle all your accounts.
Social media, that's where so many of our memories and connections live, right? Well, Facebook and Instagram let you appoint a legacy contact to look after your profile. And you get a choice. You can have your account turned into a memorial page where friends can share memories, or you can just choose to have it permanently deleted.
Now, if you do choose to have it memorialized, your legacy contact can manage the page in a few really limited but meaningful ways. They can write a pinned post at the top of your profile, maybe with funeral info. They can update your photos and even download an archive of your content. It really turns your page into a beautiful place for remembrance.
Next up, we have to talk about digital money. And this can range from the incredibly complex world of cryptocurrency all the way to the simple but super persistent annoyance of recurring subscriptions that will just keep charging your accounts.
Okay, this is incredibly important, so I need to be crystal clear. If your family cannot find your crypto seed phrase, those 12 or 24 magic words that act as your master key, your assets are gone, forever. There is no bank to call, no court order that can fix it. They are simply unrecoverable.
So, how do you protect it? Rule number 1 is to never, ever store your seed phrase digitally. Don't email it to yourself. Don't save it in a text file. Do not take a picture of it. The best way is to use physical methods, like stamping it onto fireproof metal plates and then storing those somewhere really secure.
And the stakes here could not be higher. In 2024 alone, over $650 million in crypto was stolen, And you know why? Often because people made the mistake of storing their seed phrase online where it could be hacked. Protecting that phrase is absolutely everything. So, with all these different pieces, Apple, Google, passwords, crypto, how do you possibly tie it all together for your family? Well, the best solution is a single physical document that acts as a master guide. Let's call it your death file. You know, a lot of people think their legal will covers everything, but this is a critical misunderstanding. Those terms of service agreements you click agree to for services like Apple and Google, they often override a traditional will. That's why using their built-in legacy tools is so essential. And here's another huge hurdle for families: two-factor authentication. I mean, think about it. If a security code gets sent to your phone, but that phone number has been canceled, your family is locked out. You can get around this by making sure a loved one can take over your phone number on a family plan or by using authenticator apps and documenting them.
So, this physical death file, stored somewhere safe, like a fireproof safe or a bank deposit box, should bring it all together. It should have your list of accounts, instructions for your legacy contacts, and, this is crucial, the location of your crypto seed phrase, but not the phrase itself in the same document. You got to keep those separate for security. I know, this can feel like a lot. It can be overwhelming, but you do not have to do it all at once. This timeline breaks it down into really manageable steps. This week, just make a list of your accounts. That's it. And then set up your Apple or Google legacy tool. That alone is a huge first step.
Honestly, taking these small, simple steps today is an incredible gift you can give to your family. It can save them months, maybe even years of frustration and heartbreak down the road. It makes sure that the memories you've captured and the assets you've built are preserved, not lost. It's really a final act of care for the people you love.